Hey, it's Tpok, and I'm back in Katawa Shoujo. We left off last time. We were laying on top of Emmy, staring into her eyes, I guess. And yeah, the scene is called "The First Morning After," which is kind of scary. It implies that there will be many more. A night of restlessness has left me feeling fairly groggy this morning. The events of the previous day keep intruding upon my mind. The memory of how Emmy felt against me. The memory of our wrestling match. And most bothersome, the memory of her nightmare. She was in so much pain. I can't stop wondering what it must be like for her to wake up with nobody there. The shower shocks me awake with hot water. Awake, but still worried. What will happen today? Will things just go back to normal? End of the episode, back to the status quo. There was a connection yesterday, something that nearly pushed us past the boundaries of normal friendship. Would that have been so bad? My mind goes back to the look in Emmy's eyes after our pillow fight. It almost seemed like she was daring me to go on. Almost. But I can't know for sure. Anyway, the track captain's probably the first in her affections. I don't know why you keep saying that, man. But even as I say that, my mind is already snorting derisively. I'm just looking for an excuse, a reason for everything to go wrong. A reason to not try. It's not as if I've even seen the two of them together outside of track practice. And clearly he's never visited. Amy said as much herself. If they were close, surely he'd visit. I'm such a wuss. I ought to just go for it anyway. Damn the consequences. That's what Emmy would do, I think. Hell, I know that's what she would do. Which is partially why I'm convinced there's no interest on her end. She hasn't acted either. Maybe because of this track captain. It's possible she's got a bit of an unrequited crush thing going on. Just stop with that. But who would be able to clarify their relationship? It sure as hell can't be Emmy. She'd probably just laugh and ask why I wanted to know. And I'm not ready to answer that yet. Rin would probably just give me some cryptic answer or something. And then with my luck, she'd just ask Emmy. Who would ask me why I wanted to know and I've already covered that problem. I wonder, could I get away with asking the nurse? He seems pretty protective of Emmy. I'm sure he'd know if something was up. And he owes me for not letting Emmy know he forgot to tell me about her being ill, so he'll keep quiet. No, he won't. No, he won't keep quiet. What if he asks me why I want to know, though? I can shake him off. Just say I'm curious as a friend. He'll buy that, won't he? No, he won't. Of course. That's settled and all. No. After the run, I'll talk to him while Emmy's waiting outside of the office. Dude. That is no There's no sign of Emmy when I arrive at the track. Is she still too ill? I decide to give her 10 minutes. I'm a little early and she was ill yesterday, so if she takes a while to show up, it shouldn't be surprising. Still, I'd hate to just waste my time, so I occupy myself by stretching and pacing back and forth anxiously. What if I went too far yesterday? What if she doesn't come because she's embarrassed? What if... You're early again, Hisao. I'm impressed. Just like that, I feel some of the tension leaving my body. Emmy seems to be bright and cheerful as usual, with no sign that she even was ill the other day, much less had a less than restful sleep. Still, I have to ask, sleep well last night? It's just another throwaway question. Small talk. The sort of thing people ask someone they bump into in the cafe while getting their morning coffee. But not for us. At least, not for me. I don't know if Emmy realizes that I'm actually concerned about how well she slept last night, but the question does give her pause. After a short moment of what seems like her genuinely pondering this, she nods. Yep, sure did. Was it because of me? Did I actually help? Or are you just saying that to get me to stop asking questions? Good to hear. Emmy grins and begins warming up. So, ready to begin? Pfft, am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I was born ready. Emmy laughs at my bravado and we take off running. I keep a steady pace the whole time, breathing steadily. I still feel dead at the end, but at least I don't gasp like a fish out of water now. Emmy is positively beaming after the run today. Nice job, Hisao. You're improving. You'll be half as fast as me in no time. This last line is delivered with a teasing grin that I've grown all too used to. Oh, how exciting. May begins to run her sprints while I take a cool down lap. She's really pushing herself today. By the time I'm done with my lap, she's laying across one of the bleachers, looking exhausted. Goodness, not pushing it a little too much today, are you? You did just have a cold. You'll recall. Emmy gives an annoyed snort and sits up. But I'm just trying to make up for lost time, that's all. I went twice as hard today, you know. A good run always gets the kinks out, you know? Clears the mind, too. Oh. Emmy nods vigorously. Yep, it's a great outlet for that sort of thing. She does not explain further, and I don't ask. I suspect I know the real reason she went so hard today. Being sick had nothing to do with it. Something's bothering her. Maybe the nightmare, maybe something else. But it's not my place to pry. She'd tell me if she wanted me to know. I'm sure that comes in handy. You have no idea. The sincerity in her voice confirms my suspicion. The only problem is, even though I know she'd tell me if she wanted me to know, I still want to know. Something on your mind, then? Emmy doesn't seem surprised by my question. Instead, she shrugs. No, it's nothing worth getting worried about. She seems as if she's trying to convince herself as much as she's convincing me. I open my mouth to ask if yesterday is responsible for her current state of mind, but think better of it. Too much risk of her taking the question the wrong way. Besides, I'm not even sure myself of what to think about yesterday. Really, I can only get about as far as how it felt to have Emmy sleeping next to me before my brain shuts down. Having her before me now, covered in sweat and looking wryly at me, she's making it difficult to think. Yeah, I hear you. We'd better hurry to see the nurse. We're running short on time. Aren't we always? Emmy laughs at this, a dry chuckle that seems most un-Emmy-like. Too true. For a brief moment, she looks old, worn down by some old hurt. But just like yesterday, I can almost see her shouldering the burden and straightening up slightly. And then she's back to being Emmy again. Come on then, Hisao, race ya. With a sudden smile, she darts off. Hey, no fair. I take off after her, knowing I won't catch her, but not caring. Even if there's no chance of catching her, I'll still run after her. Emmy's waiting for me at the door as I arrive. Well, well, look who's finally shown up. Yeah. Enjoy your victory while you can. Emmy grins as the nurse pokes his head out of the door. Well, there you are. Come on in, Hisao. In what has become a familiar routine by now, he checks my blood pressure and my heart rate. A bit fast today, isn't it? Yeah, I kinda raced Emmy here. The nurse laughs. That's never a good idea. He leans in to whisper to me in a conspiratory manner. I don't know if you've heard, but Emmy's a bit of a track star. I reel back in mock surprise. Really? She never mentioned it before. The two of us share a laugh. Did she do okay today? Cold seemed to bother her. Why don't you ask her? He rolls his eyes in exasperation. Of course I'm going to ask her too, but she'll tell me that she didn't have any problems, regardless of whether or not she did. So I'm asking you because you're her friend and would probably tell me if she had trouble today. When he puts it that way, it makes a lot more sense. She seemed pretty good today, if a little more tired than usual. She was already feeling better when I dropped by yesterday, so I'm not that surprised. The nurse nods, though I notice he tenses slightly when I mention yesterday's visit. Well, that's good to hear. I figured it was just a 24-hour thing. Emmy tends to recover quickly from colds and the like. Hey, speaking of Emmy, don't do it. Don't do it. Honestly, you should not face... If this was honestly a problem, which I don't believe the captain, track captain, or whatever he is a problem. But if he were a problem, you should either talk to said track captain or Emmy. I don't think you should go to this mutual friend. That's not really mutual friend. Is she in the track captain? You know. I hit my microphone. Sorry. A look of suspicion crosses his face. Why do you ask? Well, it's just that they seem kind of close, and I was just curious, you know? And I'd never ask her because that would be kind of embarrassing. So far, so good. Now to really sell it. Nope. That was unnecessary. Besides, I think they'd make a cute couple. He's gonna laugh out loud at you, man. There he goes. The nurse laughs. Embarrassing. Well, I don't suppose you're the first to think that. But I think I can say with some certainty that the two of them will never do anything like that. Certainty? Yep. Not that I could tell you, of course. Confidentiality and all that. Yeah, right. You're just holding a secret over. You just like holding a secret over my head. That too. Alright, get out of here. I'm a busy man, you know. I roll my eyes at his last statement and head out of the door, motioning to Emmy to go in. The whole time I'm trying to keep from doing a celebratory dance. The two of them will never do anything like that. That's precisely the sort of thing I wanted to hear. I'm half tempted to make some sort of a move on Emmy right now. But I think the nurse would probably disapprove. I would disapprove as well. Besides, I still don't know exactly how Emmy feels about me. I mean, it's obvious that she cares about me as a friend, but something more than that, I can't be certain. Even so, I can't help but feel hopeful. I just need to figure out a good time to tell Emmy exactly how I feel. That puzzle should keep me occupied for the rest of the day at least. The rooftop is completely deserted. Normally I could count on Rin to be up here before me, but she's strangely absent. I wonder if she decided to accompany Emmy to the cafeteria for once. That seems pretty unlikely, but it's all I can think of right now. Part of me wants to go look for Rin, but a far larger part of me is too pleased with the way the sun feels on my skin to care. That's kind of mean. I pick idly at my lunch while I wait for Emmy and Rin to show up. It does not take long for me to hear the sounds of someone coming up the stairs. I wait until the door begins to open before talking. Took you long enough. Keeping me waiting for you, honestly. The two of you are, huh? Well, that's odd. The only person standing in the doorway is Emmy, who looks mildly confused. What did you mean, huh? It's me, you know, Emmy. We run in the mornings. She grins, and I feel my heart jump slightly in my chest at the sight. Yes, I knew that. I'm just confused. Where's Rin? Emmy's grin is replaced by a rather guilty-looking expression. Yeah, about that. I just kind of, sort of... came from a cold. Oh dear. Am I at risk too? It would make sense after all. Emmy and I were in close contact the other day. So what did she and Rin do that got her ill? Steady on, lad. Don't go down that road. Rin's just probably got a worse immune system than me. Emmy seems shocked by my comment, like she hasn't considered that before. I hope not. I'll feel terrible if you get ill because of me, Hisao. Oh man, I think I feel a fever coming on. Emmy looks horrified, then quickly shifts to a more angry expression. Hisao, you stop getting sick this instant. I won't have it. Impulsively, she seizes me by the collar. Are you listening to me, Hisao's immune system? Get your ass in gear. I give a smart salute. Duly noted, ma'am. Emmy steps back and nods, satisfied. Good. You are not allowed to miss any of our morning runs after all. But you missed a morning run. Emmy crosses her arms and looks at me haughtily. Yes, but that's a special case. It was me and not you. That's not an explanation at all. Emmy looks flabbergasted. You're kidding, right? That explanation makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. It's a blatant double standard. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Oh, fine. Emmy seems pleased by her victory. Anyway, is Rin going to be okay? She's not terribly ill, right? Emmy shakes her head. Nope, she'll be fine. I got her some cold medicine that should help her. Although, I probably should have made sure she didn't try to take them all at once. She's done it before, you know. Somehow I don't find this all that surprising. I doubt Rin is one to pay attention to maximum dosages and such. Okay. You saw it that way. I saw that as a suicide attempt. Okay. That was an extremely optimistic view on things. You should probably check in on her later then, just to make sure. Emmy shrugs. I'll stop by after practice. She'll be fine until then. I nod, figuring that line of conversation is over. The only problem is I don't know what else to talk about. So, you got any more track meets coming up? This is a terribly roundabout way of trying to see if she's free on the weekend. If she's free, then maybe I can ask her on a date or something. Well, assuming I can get myself to actually form the words. Emmy shakes her head. Nah, not for another couple of weeks, I think. The season's winding down. Oh yeah, I came in right in the middle of things, didn't I? Does that mean exams are coming up soon? I should probably look into that. What do you do on weekends if there's not a meet? An eyebrow goes up and Emmy gets a teasing look on her face. You're awfully inquisitive today, aren't you? I shrug and hope it looks casual. Just making conversation. I don't know what it's like to be a track star after all. Pfft, flattery. She waves her hand idly. I'm not actually that good, you know. You just so happen to see me on a good day is all. You liar. Heh, yeah. But humility is a sign of a good athlete. At least, that's what my dad used to say. She shrugs and tries unsuccessfully to hide the rather troubled expression her face has taken on. Hey, what's up? You seem bothered by something. Emmy starts to deny it, but then sighs in defeat. I wonder if she's too tired from being sick to get herself to deny it like usual. Or if she actually just trusts me enough at this point to open up. Well, you remember last night? Do I ever? I settled for nodding, however. It's not the first time that's happened to me. Actually, I get them kind of... She pauses as if suddenly occurring to her what she's doing. It's almost like she's breaking some sort of personal rule here. But she starts up again, choosing her words carefully. Well, not often, but on occasion. It's just been one of those weeks where that happens. A sigh escapes her, and she looks terribly frustrated. I reach over and give her a hug, which, unlike last time, doesn't seem to shock her. Instead, she seems to relax as my arms wrap around her. We stay that way for a while. Hey, you know I was serious last night. You really can't talk to me if stuff like this is bothering you. It's always difficult to do this sort of thing solo, you know? Emmy smiles and breaks the embrace, but stays leaning on my shoulder. Thanks, Hisao. I'll be fine, I think. I can already see her reassembling herself, getting ready to bottle it all up again. Guess that topic's closed now. So, hey, given any more thought to that career survey? Can't say I have. I don't tend to plan very far ahead, you know. Although I suppose I could at least start taking a look into college, huh? I shrug. I suppose, unless you were serious about that pirate thing. Last I checked, pirates didn't have much need for universities. Unless there's like a pirate university out there somewhere. Emmy giggles and starts to look a little like her old self. But there's a new element to her expression. Impish. That's how I describe it. Emmy looks impish, looking up at me with her head nestled into my shoulder. Would you come with me if I ran off to be a pirate? Of course I would. Who in their right mind would pass up the opportunity to be pirates with you? Well, when you put it that way, I'm not sure. She giggles again. I notice that my heart seems to have sped up. It's probably due to Emmy's proximity to me. That hint of strawberries again. I can't help but grin as I gaze down at her. She's happy again. Hey, Hisao. If you're going to kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell is about to ring. My thoughts grind to a sudden halt. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can manage is a strangled, huh? This amuses Emmy even more. You were thinking about it, weren't you? She sits up, bringing her face to the level with mine. Oh. I guess I double-tapped. You're really... Well... She briefly composes herself, looking like she's about to say something important. If you haven't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you. You're gonna have to do something about that. This time I grin short-circuits several important thought processes. At some point I turned toward her, and at another point her arms moved around my neck. At yet another, my arms wrapped around her waist. I'll be damned if I could tell precisely when that happened. Because at that moment, there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. I look into Emmy's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday on the bed. It's there again. It suddenly strikes me that she's worried I'll reject her. What a silly worry for her to have. Her lips taste faintly of strawberries. She leans into the kiss, and her arms tighten around the back of my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there was any danger of that. There's a churning feeling in my gut. The world falls away. There's just me and her and this bench. My arms tighten, drawing her waist closer, entranced by the feel of her. I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. The ringing of the bell snaps us both back into reality and we break the kiss. Emi's cheeks are slightly flushed and she seems to be catching her breath. In her defense, so am I. We stand there for a few moments, trying to wrap our heads around what we've just done. Emi's the first to break the silence. So, want to grab dinner after I'm done with practice? What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose it was going to be some kind of proper date on the weekend or something. But the thought was there, I think. Emi gives me a playful shove. Yeah, right. You were still in shock from how incredibly awesome I am at kissing. We begin to head down the stairs back to our respective classrooms. Hey, I didn't see you talking immediately afterwards either. That I didn't. See you after practice this time. She leans in quickly and gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. As I head into my classroom, a giggling Misha greets me. Why, Hee-chan, you romantic, you. Did you confess on the rooftop, did you? Actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends Misha into a fresh fit of laughter. Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it? This Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me over this. I guess. Before I can really respond, Mutao's entered the room and Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the while. I suspect that I'll get a lot of that sort of conversation now, especially seeing as how Emi kissed me right in the middle of the hall. But somehow, I don't care about that. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. Well, that's good. And is this Act 3? Perspective. Perspective? Wasn't that one of Rin's? Well, anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it here. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Well, next Monday. Yeah. See ya.